Hi guys, my name is Morgan Woodward and today I will be discussing health, stress and coping. So obviously I said my name before. My profession is a health psychologist, and within this PowerPoint I want to discuss to all of you um, about how stress has a huge potential impact on school life if you let it get to you. So I'm going to give you strategies, which is my second aim, to help you assess and deal with stress. So hopefully after this presentation you walk away knowing a little. So the role of a health psychologist, you might be wondering, what is that? What do I do for a profession? Well, this definition here states that I pay close attention to the way thoughts, feelings, behavior, and biological. So a lot of you, you might have a general idea of what stress is, but in case you don't have a good definition or you don't really know how to describe it, I'm going to give you a definition here. So stress is the internal process which occurs when people try to cope with situations beyond our capacity. So a great example for this is if you are feeling unprepared for your next sack maybe, this is likely going to cause you stress, because if you are unprepared, you're not going to get the marks that you probably want, you're not going to know the answers, it's very unpredictable, and that causes stress because it makes you uncertain of how well you're going to do, and it just makes you worried that you might fail. So obviously if you compare that to someone who is prepared for the test, they're going to score a lot better and potentially not be anywhere near as stressed as you might be. So forms of stresses, there is two forms of stresses. There is psychological stresses. This can be mental illness. It could be trauma. So obviously, it has to be quite a serious case, but mental illness could indeed develop from high school, whether it's from potentially a bullying situation. You might suffer from anxiety potentially if you get really affected by scores and study marks and you find the work challenging. So that's certainly something to consider. But also, as well as psychological stresses, there is physiological stresses. This is known as fatigue, rapid heart rate, dilated pupils, etc. And so now we're going to talk about different forms of stress, because most people have the common perception that there is only one form of stress, and that is distress. But first, I'm going to talk about eustress, which a lot of you might or might not know about. So, what is eustress, you're wondering? Eustress is also known as what I'd call the good stress, which helps and assists with goal-orientated behavior. For example, eustress can be extremely helpful with exams because within those pressure situations, you're working towards a score that might be really hard to achieve, and you need that little kind of boost inside to push you over the. So the effects of stress, there are three different effects of stress. There's the emotional effect, which is becoming angry or annoyed more easily. Potential fear as well, for example, of an upcoming assignment or a test. I'm sorry I keep mentioning it, but it's the most relevant to all of you. Cognitive effects, more likely to have impaired judgments and poor decision making. For example, a lot of you guys will probably have to do multiple choice at the end of the year. And multiple choice, there's always freebies in there, there's always really easy answers, so you guys can get those. But if you're not in the right mindset and your cognitive effect, if your cognitive part of your brain is being affected, then you might miss out on some of those easy answers which you get, 9 times out of 10. There's behavioural effects as well, which is the potential to display more aggression towards others, as well as feelings of irritability. So, you might start being rude to your friends or your teachers when you don't mean to be, but this can all be the effects of stress. So how to measure stress? There's a social readjustment rating scale, and also known as SRSS, the life experience survey, which is LES. But the most important one for you guys is face-to-face interviews, because you guys, you're very social bunch, you talk with your friends, so check in with how each other are doing, see how everyone's coping with year 12 or year 11 because it's hard work. So make sure you have these face-to-face interviews, check in on each other. So obviously you were wondering, what are the effects of poor health in high school? So you might end up skipping or missing important classes, relationships both romantically and friendships being potentially damaged or even ended. The friendship part could also apply to teacher-student relationships. Less motivation to study, leading to decreased performances come assessment tasks and end-of-year exams, because you're not putting in as much work. And if your stress is ongoing and you take it from high school and it continues in life to university or whatever you do next, there is potential long-term health issues due to extreme stress, such as suffering from stroke, hypertension. So why is good health important in high school? You have better relationships with others, staff and students, increased motivation to perform at high levels, better clarity and understanding when studying and taking in new information, as well as you are more likely to perform better in test situations. However, this is not always the case for every individual. So, finishing off, I want to teach you all some different ways on how to reduce stress. Meditation and yoga are both great because they slow you down, they relax you, and they just kind of bring you back to earth in a sense. So they're really, really good. But a really important one I find for high school students is creating a plan. Make a timetable, make a study schedule, set yourself small goals that work up to a big goal. You've got the whole year to do so. Build yourself up to where you want to be at the end of the year. Take those small steps, but also make sure they're in place, because otherwise you're not going to achieve what you want. But also, get social support if you need. Talk with your teachers, friends, or families about issues, about stress, school psychologists, whoever's there to help, because I'm sure there's people wanting to help you if you need help. So please talk to people if you need to, because we'll always help if we can. So yeah. Hopefully I've given you guys some ways, and this is just my references. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope I've taught you a thing or two about stress and how to deal with it. Thank you all for listening.